Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Largo Dragonite here, and today I'm going to be doing a new series, but first, I'd like to shout out to all those people who quickly reached the goal for What If Naruto Was an Uchiha, the prologue episode. Well, thank you all so much. I will, as soon as I can, make that part, but I'm doing a rotation, guys, so since Uchiha was last, it's not going to be one of my videos for a while. Anyway, this what if is what if Naruto was a full Uzumaki? Let's jump right into this. Now, this video is going to be a bit of a backstory in Naruto's childhood before the academy. Now, how this story would make sense is two factors. One, Kushina is the great-granddaughter of Muto Uzumaki, the wife of Hashirama Senju. So she has Senju blood, but it's fused with her blood because genetically Uzumakis and Senju are so closely linked together that they just form one blood. So Kushina would still mean the same as King Cannon, except she wouldn't just have wind and water, she'd also have the earth release as well. Now, Minato, his mother is full-blooded Uzumaki as well in this. However, his father, well, that's going to be something interesting. You see, Tobirama Senju, who in secret had 3 children. The youngest was between Tobirama and an Amikaze woman. And that child was Minato's father. Now, when Minato was born, he has traits of Uzumaki and Namikaze and a little bit of Senju in him. But the Senju, remember, fused with the Uzumaki blood like it did for Kushina. Namikaze blood's still there, but is only there by 10%. So Minato has mostly red hair with little lines of yellow in it. Now, this would give Minato, even though he was born with lightning and wind release, such as in canon, he also gets a very immediately strong water release. Now, for this what if, I'm also giving the fact that the Nine Tails, if a child of a Jinchuriki is being gestated, whatever chakra nature the tail beast has, the children will get. So Naruto would eventually get fire release, but that's going to be his weakest element. If you guys think I'm making this too OP, let me explain. Genetic-wise, based on what I understand from reading the actual stuff, is that depending on which side of the blood is stronger, like for example, if your mother was 70% was a full-blooded Uzumaki, but your father was like, say, a full-blooded Namikaze, whatever gene is the strongest, for example, if Uzumaki was like 60% and Namikaze was 40%, whatever your mom's 2 weakest affinities are will become your primary affinity, and whatever weakest affinity your father has, you get as your second affinity. So technically, in the actual Naruto anime, even though Naruto didn't have any other elements beside wind, it is his strongest element because for both Minato and Kushina, wind was both their weakest element. That's why Naruto had such a strong wind affinity in canon. Now that's going to play into part later. Anyway, growing up, Minato and Kushina are both apprenticed by the 2 of the 3 Sannin. For Minato it was Jiraiya, and for Kushina it was Tsunade. And Minato never knew his parents, so he thinks Jiraiya was kind of like a father figure. For Kushina, she looks at Tsunade as kind of like a sister figure, or an aunt. And we get to that part where Kushina finds out she's pregnant. Now, Minato is still called the Yellow Flash to leaf, even though his hair is red. It's because when Minato did the Flying Raijin, it was yellow in color. And because of the Uzumaki blood, I also did research on the Uzumaki Clan. You see, Uzumaki blood is very potent for many reasons. 1 is the chakra change, 2 is the healing blood, 3 is to make solid manifestations of chakra. For example, you can make like a sword of chakra from your chakra. But it also has the high probability of awakening dormant bloodlines or dormant traits in the human body. So keep that factor in for later. Anyway, when they find out that Kushina was pregnant with Naruto, they both named Tsunade and Jiraiya godparents of their child. Also, over the years, both of them had met the Ninetales, and because the specific chakra that Kushina has, Ninetales is much more calmer. In fact, the Ninetales has a lot of respect for both of them, even going to the point of calling them kits. It's because when he was put inside Kushina, she was very young at the time. And in Kuroma's eyes, they're a kid until they're like 18. Even for humans. Anyway, we get to the Ninetales attack happens. Now, it goes a little bit like in canon, except for 2 differences. 1, Minato was able to give some of his Uzumaki chakra to Kushina, so she's a lot more stronger after the Ninetales was taken out of her. And 2, Minato gave the Ninetales a seal, helped develop a seal that would help him resist the Sharingan. It's not 100% effective, but the casualties went down from what they were in canon, and in which I believe was either between 2,000 and 4,000 people, to a mere 700 people, which is a lot. And we get to that scene where Minato has to seal the Ninetales in him. Now, since Naruto is a full-blooded Uzumaki per se, there's no trace of the Namikaze gene anywhere within Naruto, and Naruto's genes are more primal because the Senju blood completely bonded with the Uzumaki genetics in both his parents. So, Naruto is able to handle the full Ninetales. So Minato seals it, and there's no scene where, the Ninetales stabs Kushina and Minato. And just as they're fleeing, Minato seals bits of their chakra, but also books on a few of their books onto a scroll, which before Minato summoned, he summoned the scroll keeper of the Toad, and that Toad went to Jiraiya. Now, Jiraiya and Tsunade were very close by, and they were helping out with the aftermath after the Ninetales were gone. Now, the civilian count, the third Hokage took back place, and the council was in disarray. The civilian council wanted Naruto dead. The Shinobi Council wanted to adopt the boy, seeing as how they know that he's the child of Kushina, because it's kind of impossible to mistake in that. But Minato, basically, his hair color to the public was orange, not red. So, and Danzo wanted, of course, Naruto for root. Now, that's all of a sudden you hear the door just get kicked down to the council chambers, and that's when Jiraiya walks in and says, "He's not going anywhere except in my care." And just as the council was about arguing this, Tsunade walks in and says, "I think what he means is our care. After all, we are the boy's godparents." At this, everyone is shocked, except for those that went to the hidden wedding between Kushina and Minato, which include Minato's old squad, consisting of Mikoto Uchiha. Kushina's team consisted of her sensei, Tsunade, Mikoto Uchiha, and Sanumi Inazuka, Kiba's mom. For Minato, it was Hisashi Hyuga and Fugaku Uchiha were his teammates. Actually, Swap Tome Same with Fugaku. That's how Fugaku and Mikoto's relationship started, because they were the same team as Kushina. And the civilian council can't really say anything, but Danzo tried to argue, the elders tried to argue that he must be kept in the village at all times, and that's when they get the hope that they would stay in the village, and that's when Jiraiya said, no, we are taking him away and training him. He will be back for the academy, though. Oh, only last year, though. Besides, we can spend much more of that time training. And the third says, gives Naruto to both Tsunade and Jiraiya, and tells him to wait in his office while Tsurukade finishes the meeting. After that, of course, Danzo lets it spiel that Naruto's the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, but when it was revealed that he's the son of Kushina Uzumaki, that got mixed feelings. Now, the Third Hokage in his office gives the keys to the Uzumaki compound to Jiraiya and Tsunade. Also gives all the scrolls that were left behind for Naruto, including the clan summoning contract scroll. For the clan summons. Now, they both leave the village, and Naruto's first 4 years with his godparents were really not that bad. But Naruto still felt a little bit of resentment and that stuff every time he went to visit the Leaf. Though he had to do it under a henge, but he could still feel it. Anyway, age 4 Naruto is brought before the great elder Toad. And the Toad revealed that a detail was changed about the prophecy to Jiraiya and Tsunade, who were there along with the boss summons. Revealed that the boy will have the aid of the toads, the slugs, and the wolves. Now, Jiraiya and Tsunade didn't know what this clan summoning contract was for Naruto, so Tsunade picks it out of the bag, looks at it. It's the wolf contract. Now, Naruto begins his training. For the first year in the Summon Lands, with the great help of the toads and slugs, Naruto signed the contract right away, but he wanted to wait until he was a little bit older before he signed the wolf contract to gain their favor. Anyway, he trains specifically in chakra control and physical exercise for the first year. And Jiraiya even had little resistance seals. They wouldn't stunt his growth, like regular weights will, but they would still allow him to get decent training in. And because of Naruto's Uzumaki genes are such high, ramped up, his generation is super fast. Like, say, for example, Naruto got his arm blown off like at the end of Shippuden. You see, since he's a full-blooded Uzumaki, that will regenerate back, essentially. But it will take a while. Anyway, after the first year, the they took up different responsibilities. The Toads, which taught Naruto history and physical, like hand-to-hand combat. The Slugs took care of his chakra control and medical and ninjutsu. Since Tsunade and Jiraiya can't be there all the time because they have their own things. But Tsunade, a student, Shizune, was always with them. Now, the Academy 3, Naruto's given, and he perfects the henge and substitution completely. However, he can't do the regular clone jutsu. You see, Tsunade, since he was in the Land of Waves, which was close to the hidden whirlpool village, she was able to enter because of Uzumaki blood. She found out that the Uzumakis can't do, based on history records, that the Uzumakis can't do the regular clone jutsu. Because it violates the tiniest amount of chakra, and it's, again, jutsu. Which was really not that fun. Anyway, continuing. Around when Naruto is 6, in the middle of when he's 6 and a half, Jiraiya comes back to the Leaf Village and gives the Third Hokage the information. This particular information caused a very big outlook on the council. First, the third Hokage wasn't letting the council back him up because he wasn't worried about Naruto, and the third Hokage was able to make it so the Uchiha weren't blamed. However, there was a group of about 60 Uchiha who wanted to rebel. Unfortunately, Itachi still killed them, but he killed them much earlier. So basically a year and a half early, based on the timeline. Also, the third Hokage changed the age of graduating at the academy, which would be age 14. Now, continuing on with that, Danzo was also found out the one to give Itachi the order, and Danzo was planning to reveal that he wanted to get the eyes. So he and all those most loyal to him en route, which is about 300 individuals out of the 3,000. Everyone else, they're not 100% committed to Danzo, and they don't have the seals on him. They don't have the seals of loyalty on him, but he just has the seals that can't talk. Jiraiya was able to break the seals, and they learned all about Danzo's plans, even finding Tenzo. So and freeing him from his burden. Now, after that, while that's going on, Naruto is given Jutsu to learn. Now, bear with me, guys. Naruto hasn't taken an elemental affinity test, but Naruto have a lot of Jutsu for his wind and let's see, looking at my little calendar right here. Wind and lightning affinities. Now, if you guys want, by the time he goes in the academy, I can edit to where Naruto will fully master his earth and lightning affinities, but his first two affinities, which are mainly from the Uzumaki Clan, are his wind and water affinities. So, Naruto focused on mastering his elements, and he was given the Shadow Clone Jutsu to help with that. Now, thanks to help from the Slug Clan, they learned a way to gain complete control of the chakra. You see, Naruto needed to master water walking, then the 5-pronged seal was placed on the stomach, and Naruto basically has to use clones to fully master tree walking and water walking again, as well as leaf balancing, kunai balancing, and if you can get at least halfway up or to the top of a waterfall, then release the 5-pronged seal, your control will be pretty near your complete, but it won't be enough for Genjutsu, because it requires just the littlest amount of chakra. Anyway, Naruto does a chakra paper test. Tsunade, Jiraiya are there as well, and Emma's there visiting, because he's relaying in messages for the third Hokage and such. And what shocks them was a complete thing. The paper splits. Its first paper that revealed is water, but it's almost liquidy water. No one knows what this means, and not going to till much later. The second, lightning, wrinkles, very hard. Third, it crumbles to stone. But fourth, earth, it basically just burned it up, but the paper still had structure, but it was burned. And now, that usually means it's a weak affinity towards fire that needs to be trained, but Naruto doesn't want to do anything with fire yet, because that's a sign of the Nine Tails. And when he was 4, Jiraiya and Tsunade told him about the Nine Tails. Anyway, Naruto got to read his parents' letters and knows who his parents are. He also got their jutsus as well. Now, Naruto's regular jutsu involves the henge, substitution, shadow clones, body flicker, mystical palm technique, which he learned from his godmother Tsunade, chakra echolocation jutsu, which Naruto actually learned from Iruka, because as Iruka was a teacher that during the summer months when he was in his academy, he would go to the summer lands with permission from the third, because his summons would bring him there, and he would teach Naruto the academy curriculum. Or at least try to teach it all to Naruto before or the year when Naruto's supposed to come back. So he's caught up with his classmates, which are the clan heirs. Now Naruto will go to the academy at age 12, graduate at age 14. Anyway, from the Toads and the Scrolls left behind his parents, he learned Water Jutsu. Now, interestingly enough, the jutsu that are based for water that are based off sharks are actually Uzumaki-based techniques, but they were stolen after the Whirlpool village was attacked. So here are the water techniques. Water style, water bullet. Water style, ripping torrent. Water style, shock shower. Shock missile, shock bullet. Water explosion. Waterfall. Water prison. Water dragon. Again, water needle. Water snake. Water clone. And water hydro. Now there is another water technique, but Naruto hasn't fully perfected it yet because of how hard you need to concentrate for it. And not to mention how many hand signs you need to do it. If you were to do this hand sign, like first learning this jutsu, you need to do 80 hand signs. Naruto's only able to get it down to 70 hand signs, so he's trying to make it so he can get the hand signs down. And even with shadow clones, it's a very difficult process. Yes. The Toads use water and earth jutsu, while the Slugs use lightning and earth jutsu. So Naruto also got his earth jutsu from the Slugs. However, this is where the third contra comes in, the Wolves. Naruto signed the Wolves when he's 7. And it's not just any old wolves too. These are the elemental wolves. As in, these wolves can use all the 5 prime elements. Also, they have multiple tails too. Shows their age, though if they're a different color, it shows what elements they use. First summon Naruto did, he summoned the youngest daughter of the head of the Wolf Clan, which was Fenrir. Fenrir had 9 tails. 5 of them were different colors, but a 6th tail was a unique color, a silver color. Now, Fenrir never said what this element was, and no one else knew. Only those who are pure of heart in Fenrir's eyes, the Muslim clan, can learn the secret of this element. Now, I'm not going to give Naruto this said element, because it wouldn't make sense for him logically speaking, because that element was converted into Naruto's medical and seal art knowledge. Naruto also practiced a lot of Fuin Jutsu. Got to the point where, by the time he was 8, he already was a level 6 seal master. Now, for the Uzumaki Clan, mastery level in seals for a normal person like Jiraiya and the Third Hokage is out of 10. But those of the Uzumaki Clan had categories out of 15. Minato Uzumaki had 13. Kushina had 12. Kushina was actually on level 9 before the fall of the Hidden Whirlpool Village. Jiraiya also, during the years, taught Naruto his defensive technique, Wild Lion's Mane. And Iruka taught Naruto Chakra Echolocation Jutsu as well, for his regular jutsus. Anyway, back to the elements. For Earth, Naruto learned Earth Bullet, Earth House, Earth Wall, Mud Wall, Stone Pillar Prison, Earth Golem, Earth Dragon, Bomb, Earth Dragon, Missile, Earth Dragon, Mud Dragon, Flying Stones, Earth Trap, Earth Axe, and Great Mud River. Now, I'm not going to have him learn Jiraiya's Earth-style techniques yet, because those are mainly based off the Toads. Also, Naruto has begun in Senjutsu training. Now, Naruto hasn't, used Sage Mode, but his body is used to meditation and such and drawing in nature chakra. Now, Tsunade teaches him everything you need to know about the human body, medical arts, all that stuff. And Naruto took with like a fish to water, kind of like Kushina did. Now, we get to around age 9. And for that, all the way from age 9 all the way to 12, well, they decided, Jiraiya and Tsunade decided to take Naruto out. So basically, Naruto experienced the outside world, like walking around the elemental nations, meeting contacts of theirs, and also learning what it means to be a true shinobi. Naruto got his first kill at age 10 when he saved a group of girls ages between 16 and 20. There were 40 of them, from being raped by a group of bandits. It was there that he found the Uzumaki Taijutsu, one of the Uzumaki Taijutsu styles that was stolen in the treasury, which was the Phoenix Fist. Now, before anyone asks, no, Naruto is not going to get the Phoenix contract. I normally don't like to do what-ifs that give the summoner one of the 4 legendary contracts, which are the 4 guardians of the different compass directions, according to Japanese lore. Tiger, go. Bison, turtle, phoenix, dragon. So I don't usually like to give them that unless I can avoid it, or unless I'm giving them like the base ones, like not the legendary ones. Anyway, Naruto becomes a very good pursuit in his arts. From the wolves, he also learned his wind jutsu. Now, Naruto also learned a few jutsus that were based off snakes. The reason is because before Orochimaru's betrayal with the Snake Clan, the snakes was actually allies with the Wolf Clan, and they traded jutsu every once in a while. But the snakes, before the betrayal, gave elemental jutsu of all the 5 elements to the wolves for safekeeping. At least the old boss summon before Manda. So here are Naruto's jutsu. Wind Bullet, Gale Palm, Great Breakthrough, Wind Dome, Vacuum Bullets, Great Breach, Dust Storm, Wind Blade, Pressure Damage, Piercing Spear, Wind Tornado, Wind Dragon, Lion Tornado Blast, and Snake Buster. Now Naruto has mastered all the D, E rank, and D rank jutsus for wind, earth, and water. No, he hasn't been able to do none of his lightning or fire jutsu. He has learned them, but he hasn't actually put into practice. Now, not until the next part, during the next 2 years of the Academy, that I will reveal what Naruto learned for his lightning and fire elements. Now, at age 12, on Naruto's birthday, Naruto also got himself something special. When Uzumaki becomes of age, which normally is 12 or 13, depending if it's a male or female, the Wolf Clan gives the Uzumaki a sword made out of the finest types of metal they can be, which is basically chakra metal. However, the wolves decided to do something special for Naruto's sword. Each wolves that have the strongest affinity towards a certain element, for example, Kushi, the youngest of Fenrir's children, has a high affinity towards wind. So he was the first to place a bit of his wind chakra into the sword. So Naruto can put elemental chakra into his sword to use it in order to boost it. And also, the sword now recognizes only those with Uzumaki blood can wield the sword. So if someone tries to steal it, they're going to get a nasty, nasty shock. However, he allowed Jiraiya and Tsunade and Shizune to wield his sword. Now, since Danzo fled, he met up with Orochimaru, and they're thinking of all despicable things. However, where the Hidden Leaf Village changed. The Australian Council, unfortunately, still changed the academy curriculum, but they only removed certain things. However, try as they might, they did not remove the Uzumaki Clan from the history books like they did originally in canon. It stayed there, because all the other clans owe the Uzumaki Clan for their sacrifice. And, in fact, a lot more people, average people that are not beyond joining level, don't masters on seal masters above level 7. Jiraiya is a level 9 seal master. The Federal Kage is a level 8 seal master. Tsunade is also a level 9 seal master as well. Oh, but those that are all the way up to joining level, they only are level 6 masters. Tenten is a level 2 master, before anyone would ask. Now, I haven't decided on pairs yet, but I want to keep something similar canon, so no, one of Naruto's girls is definitely Hinata. Now, Sasuke doesn't have that stick up his butt, and neither does Neji, but they'll sometimes act the way they do in canon. So after Naruto gets his gift from the Wolf Clan, he's also given a unique gift from the Toad Clan as well. From the Toads, Naruto got those clothes he wore in Shippuden, that we see Naruto enter the Hidden Leaf in Shippuden. Except, instead of the orange, there's red. Now, over the years, Naruto's met with the Nine Tails, and they begin on very good relationships. To the point where the Nine Tails even tells Naruto about stories about Kushina and Minato. Now, they haven't gone to that scene with where they will fist bump, and Nine Tails will tell Naruto his name. But that will come on soon. Anyway, guys, here's where we left off with Jiraiya, Tsunade, Shizune, and Tsunade walking towards the Hidden Leaf. Now, before we go, view goal for this is going to be 30, and I would like a like goal of 7 for this video, guys. Also, before I go, one question remains. I have a second question, but that will be asked in the next part, which will be part 2, titled Academy Life. Anyway, should Naruto get a 4th contract? Yes or no in the comments, guys? And if so, what contract do you guys want him to be? If you have a specific contract, for example, one person in the comments say foxes, for example, just instead of multiple people typing the same thing, just all hit the like on that comment, so that way I know that it's how voting should be. Anyway, may the force be with you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.